Welcome back everyone to another episode of Tyler's Fishing Post. I hope you all enjoyed that little skit there. That was super fun to put together and make and film. So make sure you like the video if you enjoyed that. Comment down below what you thought of that little skit. And please consider sharing this video to your friends. It really helps out. Thank you so much. Subscribe if you have not yet. And before we jump into today's video, I want to say this video is sponsored by Mystery Tackle Box. So if you want to save $10 off on your first Mystery Tackle Box, click the link in the top of the description and you can do that. So definitely go check that out, link below. And thank you to Mystery Tackle Box for sponsoring today's video. Boom. So now we have the Googan Squad micro-sized crankbaits. We are gonna look at them underwater real quick and then we're gonna talk about them. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below and let's jump into it. Googan Squad micro-sized clutch looks like underwater in the pool. I have it on a bait caster. Let's see if I can do this. Surprisingly, I actually can flip this in here pretty well. Oh, look at that. It is tiny. It is very, very tiny. The action of it actually looks pretty good. Like, look at that. It has some really decent action for a tiny crankbait. But I did get this color because I thought it looked like a bait fish a lot and it would be perfect. So that's actually what it would be. Man, look at this. Y'all, so this crankbait is looking really fire in the pool right now. Like, look at that. Already just made first cast in the pool with this micro recon. Oh, that's saucy. That is pretty awesome. My favorite bait so far out of the micro universe, the micro series. This is my favorite one. Look at that. Look at that, and that citrus shad color. Yeah, so that's funny. That's why I actually have not thrown this guy in the pool, and I will never throw in the pool, just because it's it goes 8 to 12 foot, and this is a 6-foot pool. But this crankbait is 2 to 4 foot, so it's perfect. It like just barely escapes, like just slamming into the bottom there. But yeah, that is the recon, the micro size recon. So I'm gonna cut this guy off and tie on the micro banger, throw that in the pool real quick. Woo, look at that action. Of course, the square bill coming in with that epic looking action. Look at that. So there you have it. Those are the 3 micro crankbaits underwater. Now let's talk about them. So there you have it. That is what these crankbaits look like underwater. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, what you thought of these crankbaits underwater. And now we're gonna talk about them. Like, so first off, we gotta talk about the size of these crankbaits. Like, let's compare it to the full size crankbait. This is the Recon, and we have the full size up top and the micro right underneath. That is crazy size difference between these 2 crankbaits. And they're all that way. Like, even the banger, like, look at that. And then the clutch, they're just crazy size difference to these crankbaits. So first off, where would you throw these? How would you fish them? Okay, so first off, you would want to be throwing these in really skinny water, shallow water, canals, creeks, anywhere where it's probably like a foot, maybe a little bit more. And they actually have the labeling on the bottom, like this crankbait is 2 to 4 foot on the bottom, if you can see that, 2 to 4 foot for this crankbait. And then we have the 1 to 3 foot on the micro banger, if you can see that right there. Look at that. There's a million ways you can fish these crankbaits, and personally, probably what is going to catch the most fish for me, and for bass fishermen out there, if you like to fish for bass, this is what's going to get it done. Okay, so there's certain days where bass like just target these tiny baits that are literally this size and like this color specifically. Like, this is the perfect crankbait for when bass are only targeting like really specific bait fish. And that is why I got this color specifically, because sometimes they'll be blowing up bait in the Kissimmee grass, like little bait like this, and I can never catch fish those days, like ever. Like, I'm throwing like giant crankbaits along the Kissimmee grass lines. I might catch 1 or 2, but there is just giant fish in the Kissimmee grass blowing up on these little tiny bait fish. Whoops. And I can never catch them. I can never catch those fish to save my life. And I end up going home that day and don't catch fish. So now that I have these tiny little crankbaits, you could honestly fish these right around the edge of Kissimmee grass. You might actually be able to get away with throwing it into Kissimmee grass and kind of like getting around it, because these hooks are really small, so I don't think you're gonna get hung up too much. And you can throw it around docks when they're also targeting those little tiny bait fish. So when you're out fishing, whether that be ponds or lakes, or you're on a bass boat or a dock, and you see like bait fish really small, and you can't catch any fish, but you see fish around you and they're busting, you wanna get out these little tiny crankbaits and fish it around those fish, because those fish are going to be the ones that will eat these tiny little crankbaits. So most of the time they will want that bigger profile bait. They will want like something like this, especially during the summertime right now. But there is times where if I don't have these baits, I probably won't catch fish. So that is my thoughts on these little crankbaits. And on Carl's Bait and Tackle, they say you can fish these for trout, panfish. You can catch a lot of those as well, but I normally don't do that. Normally just bass fishing. But for those of you all out there who are curious, you can catch panfish with these and trout and other stuff like that. So super cool deal, really awesome baits. I'm super happy with them. I'm gonna be using them a lot because these things just look saucy. Like look at this, like this just looks so epic. So with me, I do have my lightest setup I possibly could have right here for bass fishing. It's a 610 rod, pretty short rod, 12-pound Seagarden VizX with a Lew's Hyper Mag. This is my lightest setup, and it was way too heavy for these crankbaits, like just incredibly heavy for these crankbaits, like line-wise, rod-wise, and reel-wise. Just really, it's too heavy. It's too heavy. You need to be throwing these crankbaits on a spinning reel setup. That is the go-to. Like you cannot fish these crankbaits unless you have like a super light reel or super light rod. You really need a spinning reel for this setup, and I'd say 8-pound line. 8 to 10-pound line is probably like the lowest you can go. This is 12-pound line, and this 12-pound line is not the deal for these crankbaits. Like you cannot throw a 12-pound line with these crankbaits at all. I don't think so. Like 12-pound is like the heaviest you could possibly go, and it's just not the deal. So you want super light line. You want a spinning reel setup. That is what you want to throw these really light crankbaits on. So overall review, I think these are some awesome crankbaits. They're gonna catch fish. Harris chain, not the best baits for the Harris chain, I would think, when the shad spawn's going on and the fish are like really targeted on these really tiny bait fish. That is perfect. Canals would be perfect. Maybe around docks if they get up underneath docks, and you could possibly skip these baits. That would be really cool. Like I'd probably say the square bill, you could possibly skip that. Probably not the rail traps, like, cause it's probably a little bit, no, it's about, yeah, square bill's lighter for sure. So I would probably try to skip the square bill all day underneath docks and stuff. And there you have it. That is the micro Googan crankbaits. Like look at this. And just sitting next to the bigger crankbaits, they are really crazy looking. So if you think you can catch fish on these crankbaits, or you have not been catching fish because like bass are targeted on those little tiny bait fish, then you need to pick yourself up some of these crankbaits. So go check them out. They're on Carl's Bait and Tackle. That's where I got them from. And thank you so much for watching this video. That is going to wrap it up there. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if I look all sweaty and hot because it's literally 100 degrees out here. I'm dying of thirst. I'm so thirsty right now. So we're on the road to 4,000 subscribers. Please help us out there, y'all. We're almost there. So just subscribe, left and right, subscribe. Please appreciate it. Thank you very much. And with that being said, that is the Googan Squad micro-size crankbaits. Thank you so much. Thank you to Mr. Tackle Box, and I'll see you all for another episode of Tyler's Fishing Post. Bam!